and welcome back to somebody on Ospreay and to AEW Dynasty out of 10. And yeah, headlined by a heated world title matches and a dream match between two of the best wrestlers on the planet. This looked like an unbelievable card on paper, but did it deliver? You'll have to watch this video to find out. We're going to start off on the 0 hour with Trent Beretta taking on Matt Sydal. And Beretta stunned the fans by turning on Orange Cassidy. Sunday he further established himself with a singles entity with a victory over St. Louis' own Matt Sydal. The match was an example of perfectly acceptable wrestling. There's neither great nor bad. It was a solid match to kick off the festivities as part of the 0 hour pre-show and highlighted Beretta in the process. Afterwards, Taylor interrupted the beatdown by the heel and demanded to know what side the long-term tag team partner is on by Wednesday. So yeah, setting up that for Wednesday, and of course going to continue the Cassidy feud. But I think this was just to put him over, and it did the job, I guess, and was a perfectly acceptable match. So yeah, on the whole, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Before it's time for Cassidy and Shibata against Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. Cassidy and Shibata settled their issues with Shane Taylor Promotions, defeating them despite interference from Ogogo. The babyfaces overcame concentrated effort by striking Taylor and wrestling guru Moriarty to knock them off. Freshly squeezed, as so often, rocked Moriarty with the orange punch for the win. A better match than the opener, but one that would have been right at home on Collision or even Rampage than extending what was already destined to be a long show. So yeah, in a way, I don't really understand why they do it. I mean, obviously to get the likes of Cassidy and Shibata on the show, but it just didn't really feel like it's needed, especially when we're all just building up to that big match between Cassidy and Beretta. So yeah, I'm just going to give it a 6 out of 10. Before it's time for that title for title trios match, the Bang Bang Gang defeated the Acclaimed Aewdynasty Universe titles and hopefully put an end to a feud that's been going on for too long. It's solid action throughout in a fast-paced match that saw Billy Gunn explicitly book like Superman until White delivered Brave Runner and scored the win. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I think, yeah, good way to end it, and hopefully, yeah, like I say, the trios titles can get back on track, and yeah, this feud is over now, because for me, it just hasn't really clicked. We then saw Pac take on Okada for the Continental Championship on the main card, and Okada worked over the head and neck of Pac for the most of the match, targeted the area opponents in hopes of delivering the Rainmaker. It would prove effective, especially after Barca's back arrow was met with knees to the face. This finisher stunned Pac, allowed Okada to rock into his finisher and scored the hard-fought victory. More methodically paced than anything else, the match took nearly all of its 30 minutes and maximised every single one of them. This was probably the best presentation to Okada in this point that didn't include his Young Bucks, while Pac really stood out here, earning He's Our Bastard chance. A great way to kick off the card. The figures to have more than a few of those highly graded matchup. This gets an 8 out of 10 for me. This is great stuff. I think made both look like proper badasses. They both are. Before it's time for Copeland, Kingston and Briscoe against the House of Black. They may have been on a collision course for a week, but they clashed as part of a trios match. As it turned out, Black and Copeland did not touch until the closing seconds of the match, during which the heel blindsided the Race Star Superstar with his trademark mist and rocked him with a black mass for the win. It was a fun action-packed trios match that highlighted everyone, but never really over-delivered the money matchup between Copeland and Black, ensuring that there would at least be interest in those two eventually clashing for the TNT Championship. So yeah, I think it was all really built up for that. It was a fun match, don't get me wrong, but yeah, just didn't really feel like it carried a great significance compared to most of the show on here, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Before it's time for the TBS Championship between Willow Nightingale and Julia Hart, with Chris down under a sky blue bar from ringside, the challenger's handpick rule came into effect. It would be the Princess of the Back Throne final defence as Nightingale fired up, powered through everything, Hart threw at her and delivered a gut wrench powerbomb to score the clean, emphatic victory in a match that was good but failed to live up to some of Hart's other defences. After the match, Mercedes Moné particularly made her presence felt and made the rematch official for May the 26th at Las Vegas, Double or Nothing. I think we all know where this is going. Good way to give Willow the win, and obviously a huge match for her coming up. But yeah, like I say, match maybe didn't quite hit the height, so I'm only going to give it a 6 out of 10, I think. But moving on then to Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong for the International Championship and the Disintegrating Friendship rated status chapter. Strong targeted the neck and spine of his partner, looking to exploit the established injury. O'Reilly fought back, punishing his opponents with quick strike and arm-based submissions. Ultimately, it was an awkward exchange running by Wardlow that did just enough to distract O'Reilly and allow Strong to deliver end of heartache for the win. After the match, the Undisputed Kingdom came in, revealing he no longer needs a wheelchair. The match was good, especially as you were into strikes and counters. Did it appeal for a larger fan base? No, but it saw a reaction from the fans. It was well executed and the right guy got over. Shame for O'Reilly, but I think this feud still has more legs rest of the run. So we'll see where it all ends up. But for now, Roderick Strong gets the win, and maybe the Undisputed King is starting to hot up too, which is much needed. So 7 out of 10. Before the FTW Championship match, Hook against Chris Jericho. Jericho defeated Hook to win the championship, proving once and for all that all these involved are utterly tone deaf. The fans inside the arena made it abundantly clear they didn't want Jericho to win, and in fact even implored him to take his bag and go home during one point. This didn't stop the inevitable outcome as Jericho delivered 2 Jesus Effects, then used the baseball bat to flatten the second gen star and win a title that does nothing for him besides bolstering his resume. Taz checked on Hook after the match, while the disingenuous Jericho acted as though he wanted nothing to do with hurting the now former champion. The match was fine though, for what it was, but in no way did it deserve anything better than kind of the reaction it got from the crowd. So yeah, unfortunately I'm going to have to give this a 5 out of 10. Before it's time for Timeless Tony against Thunder Rosa for the Women's Championship. And yeah, she'll stop at nothing to retain her championship, as evidenced in the closing moments, with Deonna Purrazzo hitting the ringside area and brawling to the back. Mariah May, but not before leaving Luther down and out on the floor. The champion found herself without her support system. Instead, she capitalised on a ref distraction and delivered a kick below the belt of her opponent and delivered Storm Zero to retain the title. This was a particularly strong match. There was some great fire from Rossa, particularly as she was trapped in a Texas cloverleaf. Storm continues to thrive in this role and was an excellent chase to serve as the face of the women's division in AEW. So yeah, this was really good stuff. Gets a 7 out of 10 from me, and I think yeah, the right decision for Storm to retain while this Timeless Tarrants is still so hot. Before it was time for arguably the biggest dream match ever, arguably the best wrestler right now against the GOAT. Saturday night in St. Louis, a town rich history. These two deliver the match of the year candidate that everyone expected. A war of attrition saw these two stare each other down late, each launching themselves out of their respective corners. The Air Assassin got the best of Danielson, laying him out. A Tiger Driver followed, apparently injuring Danielson along the way, before Ospreay delivered the hidden blade for the pinfall win. Ospreay checked on Danielson after that, continuing the story that he cares too much about his opponents and has too much respect to be part of the Don Callis family. The match was extraordinary, the crowd was red hot, both men proved their greatness, and yeah, it was an instant classic. Need I say more? This was just a top class 9 out of 10. Before it's time for the ladder match between FTR and the Young Bucks for the tag titles. The Young Bucks became the first 3-time tag champions in history, with Jack Perry shockingly returning to defeat FTR in a wild, chaotic match full of jaw-dropping spots which had fans visibly wishing safety on competitors. Perry's return staged a fan run and treated as one as he was escorted out of the arena by security, directly set up the finish, suggesting that there may be some loose partnership between the EVPs and the Scapegoat. The 4th match in the series between these was unlike any of the 3 that preceded it, and had several callbacks that tied them together. Was there more to accomplish with FTR as champions? Potentially, but I think with the Bucks and their new character Jack Perry in the mix as well, it could be really interesting the way they go with this, so I'm definitely not against it at all. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. It was then main event time, Samoa Joe facing Swerve Strickland. Swerve became the first Black World Champion on Sunday night, defeating Joe in the main event of Dynasty and ushering in a new era for the company. The historic moment came after a physical match that saw Joe attempt to overwhelm and exhaust Strickland, only for the challenger to weather the storm and drive the heel into the mat and deliver the second top rope double stomp of the match to secure the win. The fans instantly erupted for Strickland, adding to this moment, ensuring that everyone knew the result was the right one. Joe was a consummate professional, rolled out of the ring and headed up the ramp. The world champion to have his spotlight. Well deserved spotlight considering the work he's coming from mid-card in WWE to the position he's in now. So yeah, this was really great, a brilliant match to end it all off, and just so happy for Swerve finally getting the reign he deserves. 8 out of 10, and overall Dynasty gets an 8 out of 10 from me. I thought, yeah, brilliant pay-per-view this was. The emotion of Swerve winning the dream matches throughout the night, the Pac Okada, Young Bucks, FTR, and of course Ospreay Danielson. I thought, yeah, it just had a bit of something for everybody this card, and while it was long, it was really entertaining throughout. So yeah, it gets an 8 out of 10. Hey guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.